Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I'm Veeda Raghav. Lots lined up on the show this evening, including our special focus on denial of temple entry for Dalits and the caste tensions in Tamil Nadu and perhaps in the rest of India as well. But first, the headlines we're tracking this are. Time for stern action against Madhya Pradesh Minister Vijay Shah. The High Court takes suo motu notice of the disgraceful statement he made in reference to Colonel Sophia Qureshi. Tells the DGP of the state to file an FIR. 31 Naxals killed in 24-day-long operation in Chhattisgarh, say paramilitary forces. Home Minister Amit Shah hails it as a historic breakthrough. Repulsive images of stale, rotten and fly-infested food from a private railway caterer's facility near Kochi. The unit supplied food even to the Vande Bharat trains. Authorities seize food and seal the facility. Up this evening, our special focus on the simmering caste clash in Tamil Nadu's Pudukottai district over the past few days. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court today ordered the collector, superintendent of police and IG in charge of the Pudukottai district to appear before it tomorrow in connection with the violent clashes on the 5th of May following denial of temple entry to Dalits at a temple administered by the state government. Over 13 people were injured and around 20 arrested after clashes broke out following the dispute in Vadakada in Pudukottai district. A scheduled caste residential area was allegedly vandalized in the clashes, and several fact-finding reports point out that this was the result of a long-standing dispute. The court intervened in the matter after a petition was filed before it seeking intervention to ensure entry for Dalits here and in another temple in Karur district, which is nearby. It also alleged that the police have not filed cases against key accused. Denial of temple entry to Dalits, remember, is a widespread issue, whether it is in Tamil Nadu or in neighboring Karnataka or perhaps other states as well. My colleague Sam Daniel joins me live from Chennai as well. He's been tracking this case very, very closely. Also with us this evening, Shalin Maria Lawrence, author and Dalit right activist, Kovai Satyan, spokesperson for the AIDMK, Pulla Rao, political analyst. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a DMK spokesperson on the show this evening. My first question to you, Sam Daniel, given the fact that this temple has been administered by the HRNCE department or the state government directly, it obviously calls for decisive action. Also the fact that while this case is simmering right now, it may not have been, it's certainly not the only one that we have seen in the recent past.
That's right, Veeda Raghav. There are many temples across Tamil Nadu where Dalits have managed to enter after decades of isolation or ostracization in that sense. And in this case too, one would expect that the government would swiftly act and make sure Dalits would have any unrestricted access into this temple, particularly for the upcoming consecration scheduled very soon at this temple here. And now that the court has taken a serious view of this and has summoned the IG, the collector and the SP, tomorrow we should wait and watch what kind of a view would the court take and what directions would the court give. And based on that, we can expect swift intervention by the government. I could recollect a similar incident in Thiruvannamalai district in 2023, when around 200 Dalit families managed to enter the temple administered by the HRNC department after almost 8 decades of ostracization there. And in that case, again, following a court order and following a strong stance by the Dalit community there, large numbers of police personnel were deployed there, and they ensured that the temple entry would be incident free. And in this case too, authorities say, based on the court direction, the district administration is expected to hold a peace committee meeting involving both the communities in that particular village to make sure that the temple entry, whenever it happens, would be incident free, would be smooth, would be in that sense welcoming a new beginning of in a sense. And that's what normally would happen. But many critics say that the government intervenes only when Dalit communities go to the court. But otherwise, although HRNC administered temples should be accessible to all communities irrespective of the caste and creed. They don't act unless there is a problem, there is opposition, or there is a law and order issue. And that's something many say the government ought to change, especially when it claims that Tamil Nadu stands for progressive ideas and progressive egalitarian society. And this is the stance taken by both the ruling DMK and the opposition AIADMK whenever they are in power, because many say the Dalits have not consolidated in that sense into a strong political force, unlike the other dominant communities.
Right, that's an important point that you're making there, Sam. It's about the underlying caste realities and dynamics in not just Tamil Nadu. Remember, this is perhaps the reality in several other states as well. Shaleen, your initial assessment of issues of this nature which are simmering. These are not some things that evolve overnight. These are disputes that have been simmering over a long period of time, both in terms of administrations intervening and in terms of the larger reality, because sometimes when they say this has to be done in the form of peace committees, etc., it's often lip service. And often political realities and caste dynamics and the caste vote banks matter more than ensuring social justice.
To be honest, this is not one case, because I just have the report with me. Over the last 4 years, there have been around 45 cases where an FIR has been registered for not letting Dalits enter the temples. So I received the data from Evidence, an NGO and based out in Madurai. So this is not just, happening in Pudukottai. I mean, in Pudukottai, you might have 100 of temples, which is, not allowing Dalits. And then you have Karur, you have the Mariamman temple, you have Pollachi. So it's not just, the South districts or the Delta ones, but, throughout the 38 districts, wherever you go, you have temples where Dalits cannot enter, and temples managed or administered by HRNC. Now, the question is, when Sam Daniel said, swiftly, there is no swiftly at all. There is a temple in Salem. The DMK, he was one of the chief functionaries of the district. He didn't allow a Dalit guy to enter. He used caste slurs around him. That issue is still going on. And then you have Melpadi, Virupuram, where after the court's observation, Dalits were let inside. That was like a couple of weeks back. But there again, a problem started, and the temple had to be again shut down temporarily. And then Thiruvannamalai, Sam Daniel said, yes, after 8 years, people entered. But what happened afterwards was there was a socio-economic boycott on the people who entered, or the whole Dalit colony, and the houses were, rioted. What I do is I just don't go, about the headlines where people have entered the temple. I just follow up with the stories of what happens after they enter. So after they enter, it is always about socio-economic boycott and rioting. Now, what has happened in Pudukottai, you have to see that the police witnessed, these dominant caste guys, what they did? 300 men. They posted an Instagram video where they, it's all full of caste slurs and everything. They're carrying that patakati, that machetes, and all the weapons in their hands before rioting the place in Pudukottai, before going into Vadakadu. And they posted it online. And you're telling me there is a vigilance team, social media vigilance team present in Tamil Nadu, which goes after journalists and human rights activists, does not, give attention to this detail. But then they used caste slurs on the women, they attacked the women, they burned the houses. They had actually went ahead and, they had actually damaged an Ambedkar, Baba Saheb Ambedkar there was a big banner which they have, desecrated. Now, what has happened is 300 people went in and only 12 people have been booked, and not 300. Okay, 12 people have been booked. And there is a section under which the desecration of Ambedkar statue or picture, that section has not been applied. And then a section for murderously injuring the Dalits has not been booked. And then there is a section where the women have been, harassed. That 6 women, even that was not, taken into account. What's the worst part is, as soon as the clash happened, as soon as we activists received the videos and we circulated the videos tagging the police, the Pudukottai district police came to us and, they accused us or spreading false news. And they said it is the issue between two individuals over some petrol bunk.
Okay.
And they threatened all Dalit activists. They threatened who was journalists who
Right.
spoke about this issue. And I think this is
All right, Shalin.
don't see it between two.
No, Shalin, you made a very, very important point. I need to go to the other panelists, but very quickly to Sam Daniel before I go. Sam, very briefly, there are serious allegations being made against the police force in terms of filing of the cases, etc. Has there been a response from the police force per se? Because these allegations that Shalin is making has also been made in the affidavit before the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court.
So far, no response from the police. We could not reach them, Virarago, but we'll have to see what the police would tell the court. But earlier, what I meant is police act swiftly in cases like this when it goes to the court. That's what I meant. And it will be keenly watched what the police would tell the court tomorrow, since the collector, IG and the SP have been summoned.
Right, important to observe what the police's response is, because serious allegations being made there against the police force. Kovai Satyan, there is no DMK spokesperson to defend the government at the moment. But the fact is, the reality is, and it has been proven time and again, that irrespective of the political party in power, these incidents continue to happen, and the action now is pretty similar to what action has been taken in the past under the AIDMK regime. Very quick response to that.
I would start by saying, since DMK had come to power, there has been a steep increase with respect to the offences and crimes against the deprived. The data, last known and valid data, is 2,068 cases as of 2023, just 2 years of DMK coming to power. But we don't have any credible data now, because the state police refuses to entertain any complaints in this angle. And whatever they have to get benefited financially through the government schemes, there is a rampant corruption. So at one side, they are being financially broken. Another side, there is a steep increase in the social stigma. It is not common in the society. It is deep-rooted since schools. What is more alarming and worrying is there are casteist remarks and casteist violence, an attempt to murder, brandishing knives. These are all incidences which are coming out frequently since DMK had to come to power, which gives a firm belief that it is indeed DMK which is fueling this for a vote bank politics, because one of their allies, Vidudalai Sirthai Katchigal, need to find its plot relevant in Tamil Nadu politics. At one side, you say social justice and equality, which is only on papers. On the other side, there is a steep increase of violence, sexual violences against women who are downtrodden and deprived. And the police, who are supposed to act according to the books of law, are mere puppets in the hands of these rulers. And they have become voiceless. And anybody who raises their voice is being killed. The best example is my friend Armstrong from BSP. He was very vociferous. And what happened to him?
You're making
Still, there is no headway.
You're making serious allegations. Unfortunately, I don't have a DMK spokesperson to respond to those allegations. Your point has been taken. Pulla Rao, irrespective of the political party in power, these are realities that continue. Perhaps in a state like Tamil Nadu, at least it gets reported. There are states where it doesn't even get reported.
You see, Tamil Nadu is a progressive state. These incidents happen despite governments. I know that. You also know Pudukottai is one of the few princely states in Tamil Nadu. From 1680 right up to 1948, it had a Raja. It's very rare in Tamil Nadu. And there are certain other backward areas. There were clashes during ADMK's time. I don't blame the party. They were. I don't want to name the communities. They were. And they continue. It's very sad. And social change comes at glacial pace. My friend Miss Maria also will agree with me. Segregation is not over in USA. The churches are segregated even today. They're segregated. It's a very sad thing. And progress is being made. Hopefully, any government that comes in Tamil Nadu will try to stamp out this, especially in certain rural areas. This is not a phenomenon in cities and towns. And it will take time. And surprisingly, Tamil Nadu is a progressive state in other sectors. I don't know why. we have to go much more deeper into these caste clashes. And, it is going at a slow pace. And, just at the start of your show, you mentioned one incident in Madhya Pradesh, one MLA losing his tongue talking. These incidents happen all over the country, but I'm not talking about whataboutery. It is sad. We condemn it. Police will take action. And the end result should be, as Ms. Maria said, there should be no, no retribution on people who complain. The police have to very artfully do it. Police will register a case and leave. And after that, there is hell to pay. They have to strike a very careful path. So we expect and hope there will be justice in future, social justice in reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an important quest. Unfortunately, I've come completely out of time on this conversation. It's an extremely important one. We'll keep very close watch of how the developments play out in the court tomorrow and in terms of action on the ground there, both in Pudukottai and in other places. But thanks to all four of you for joining me here on the Southern View this evening.